Whoa, it's Wulzy. Welcome back to another adding effects to Robtop levels video. It's been a long while, but we're finally back. The main problem was a lack of ideas. I'm planning to make an extreme demon pretty soon, so I've been holding some effects to the side for that, but I've thought of some that I want to use in this series. If you enjoy, please consider subscribing, because I'm about to pick up the pace immensely with videos, and you don't want to miss some stuff I've got planned. Trust me. We're going to start with cycles for today. This is going to be my warm-up. We're going straight to the ship section. First off, I am going to set all of these object on the screen to 10% opacity. We'll make that 10% and we're gonna excuse the portals from this. Maybe a bit more than 10% because that's barely visible. Okay, cool. So now the portals stand out. Then I'm gonna make a circle effect on the portals. So I'm gonna use a slightly bigger corner piece than the average size, placing it half a block greater than the edges of the portal, and we can rotate that a little bit so we have 8 corner pieces like that. That can be group 2. Then we're gonna have a bunch more frames in like an animation. So I'm gonna link these together because that's going to be the first frame in the animation. Then I'm going to copy paste, give it a new group ID, and just keep repeating this process until I have group 46 filled in. So there's going to be a lot of frames in this animation. Hopefully this is going to be worth it because it's going to take quite a while for me to set out because I need a lot more rotations as well. Actually, I can stop at 45 because from 2 to 45 there are 44 different circles right here, and the difference between each dot right here is 45 degrees. So when I set these up to rotate, it needs a center point. Hold on. We're going to use this invisible point right here as the center of the object. Starting on 3, I'm just going to leave 2 blank as like a little placeholder where the dots don't actually rotate at all. Put 46 as the center, and then we just need to increase the degree number by 1 every single time. And I guess we can have an ease in out rotation of 1 second. So now I just need to copy paste, increase the degree number by 1, and increase the group number by 1. So essentially, once I've finished this process, the dots will rotate to form a smooth circle. I've got 15 frames in right here. You can see it fills up quite a lot of that gap now. I just got to be patient and make sure that I add every single degree. Otherwise, there's going to be gaps in it and it's going to be ugly. Oh boy. I sure love to put myself in a very monotonous situation whenever I record these Robtop level videos. Well, I was right the first time. Good thing I linked all of these together so I can just click on it and select every single one, copy paste, and then we'll just add a 47 that we can add really quickly at the top. And now this circle will rotate together like that. Nice. Something I want to do as like a little extra piece is disable link controls for a second and focus on each dot individually. Give them a new group that's starting from 48. Give every single one a unique ID. We can't even see this being added because there are so many dots with so many different group IDs that it just fills up the entire box. Then I'm going to put a center at the top of the level at the opposite side to the portal, which is going to be invisible, and it can have group 56. And this needs to start at 48 around, I think, was it 57? No, it was 56. Okay, 56. I guess it can go 180 degrees. Okay, then I need to move it up and increase the group number and probably the time by 0.1 as well, just so it has the same end time. And then I can just offset these way back here with 0 move time. I have it working to a certain extent, but it's not good enough. That kind of works. I don't know. I feel like that's kind of neat. Dude! Oh! I was doing a test with how it would look if it moved upwards, like if it started in the ground and moved up to its spot. And I accidentally rotated it around that center when it's all up there. But that looks cool, dude. I'm gonna add another set that's 5 blocks up from there, and that can fade on by itself. So 57 would start off as invisible. Then as the rotation starts, it can fade on like so. Okay, let me see. I think I might have nailed it. Hold on. If I put all of this on B4, then it should be good to go. Then we need to be extremely careful. I need to copy paste all of this. Build helper. Okay, so that can go there. I'm going to do all of the reverse gravity ones first, I think. I've been kind of silly and I didn't put this on any sort of link or different editor layer, so I'm just manually selecting these. Build helper. All right, so let me fix this before I do anything else. We need to have the center point on this portal. That looks about right, maybe? Ooh. Let's go. It's working. Nice. Yes. It's working. Woo. Banger. Then I'm probably going to make group 1 just flash on and off of its opacity. We're going to add my signature trigger right here that moves the particles off in random directions just because I like the way it looks. Hold on, emergency change. I've realized this would probably look better if the background just went to black and the objects just stayed as white. I don't really know what I was thinking. I was trying to be cool, but this is just the best way to do it. There we go. That's much more dramatic. Nice. we have completed cycles. So we've done the first 9 levels in the series now. The next one would be X step. Interesting. Let's run it. I have a plan for the ship section, which you can see right here. I'm going to carefully select every single block past the portal. And I'm just going to set it to a next free color channel that has blending on white. Okay, cool. So the blocks have all of their inside details just completely missing. And then I'll probably select the stars and the clouds and make them low opacity. I mean, the main rule for this series is that I'm not really allowed to change the decoration too much, but I think it's fine to alter the decoration to make room for effects, since that is the other main point of the series. Okay, that seems just about right, where the decoration's just kind of there, but not really. So we have the original charm of the level still there, but I can make effects with it. Robtop, what are you doing? Dude, there's so many blocks with this problem. What? Also, I think I saw a crack in a ground. Yeah, I did. What is that? Whatever, that's good enough. I'm just going to work with this. Okay, so I want to move a gradient onto the background just so we have a plain color. So I'll make a new color channel that copies the color of the background, and we'll put this on B4. Don't fade, don't enter. A new group because it's going to move on. Yeah, that's like the other thing I'm not allowed to do, is just completely change the in-game background. So I got to make this myself. Good thing it's really easy to do. All I need to do is extend this huge gradient back like that. That should be enough. It has the group number 2. 2 will lock on around about here to the x-axis. We'll give that 15 seconds or so. Okay, so it moves first, then it locks once it covers the whole screen. Nice. Okay, let me test this out with a start pause just to see how it looks in normal mode. Should swoosh over right here. Okay, that's pretty seamless if you ask me. And look at this. We have a beautiful canvas to get decorated. It looks good already. We could definitely add some fuel to the fire before we even start by selecting all of these objects, linking them together with the link controls you can find in the extra editor options, copy pasting, and then giving them a new group and moving them, I think, 2 to the left and 2 down. We'll do this again just so we have another line behind. 3 and 4 can be set to invisible before this part starts. Then we can kind of subtly fade them on and off as this part goes on. Takes pretty much no time at all, although it does kind of eat up quite a lot of objects. As you can tell, I kind of just copy pasted the objects as a whole 2 more times, which probably added like 500 objects unnecessarily, but there we go. That's looking nice. All right, now it's time to get started with the actual effect, which might take a little while. Basically, I'm going to go around on editor layer 2 and add a little underlay block that's scaled up to 2 times using that background copying color without just overlapping the block. See, if I put it on T1, it gets covered. If I don't, it pretty much just slinks into the background and you can't tell it's there. To show you most clearly what this effect is going to be, I'm going to put 5 lines across the screen. The first one is going to be B2, I'm going to say, and it's going to be 11 on the Z order. Don't fade and don't enter. Then I'm going to mini space this to the side and decrease the Z order by 2. So there is a layer between. So now what I'm going to do is add a gradient object that's going to cover up 1 line at a time. The leftmost line is B2 and 3. So I need to make this gradient object B2 and 4 with the background color on it if I want to cover that leftmost stripe. Then I need to make another gradient that's 2 layers up. So this is covering the B2 and 5 line. So we have B2 and 12 at the top. Then we just cover up the rest of the space with every single line, making sure that we only copy paste the square downwards and not across. Otherwise, this square with the values 12 is going to end up over here and it's going to mess up the gradient. I'm going to move that to the top just as a reference. Then I'm going to stack this all on top of itself so we have one big gradient. And you'll see that if I run it across these lines, that they disappear one at a time. I'm probably going to squish these lines together and use them for little ground lines, something like this that can fade on as we enter the ship. Ooh, what I could do actually is give it a group 7, then copy paste, flip it upside down and layer it in the exact same spot and make that group number 8, and we can toggle it off and on. So these lines are going to switch the order in which they appear. So we get to copy pasting the left side. So there are 32 total triggers from this side. Wow, I actually did it perfectly. Okay, 32 total. Then we align on the X and that makes 1 every beat. Every second trigger needs to be an activate. Leave a like and subscribe for this epic gameplay, by the way. Then we can copy paste, flip them around. As you can see, the order has went from green, red, green to red, green, red. And we shall put these lines onto the top of the level as well, making sure they flip so they are mirrored. Not as cool as I thought it would be. Hold on. It's an easy fix. Then I'm going to copy paste and flip it around. So there's going to be like a little window where the objects all become visible. I'm probably going to scale this down a little bit as well. So you can see how that's going to work just by looking at it right here. 9 is the right side. It can have a 2-second movement that moves 50, which is 5 blocks to the right. And the left side can have the opposite. Then a few blocks before the triggers end, you can see with the duration lines right here, which you can get by going into the extra settings. We'll just set them back the other direction. I mean, the lines are getting cut off by the lines behind the blocks sometimes, which is a shame. I kind of wish I put glow instead of like an actual box. But I'm just going to move these up. I was going to delete them, but I'm going to move them up in case I want them again. I need to improve that transition. But yeah, this is just looking a lot better without them, I think. The easiest thing to do is probably to use these little curves like this. 45-degree rotate, scale them up. And I can do a lot with this. Then moving it down slightly and decreasing the layer by 2. So this wavy line's going to... Oh, that is cool looking. There we go. That's a cool looking background, I think. Let me see if I can quickly make some pulses for that group 11 that makes it copy the background color with a lot of brightness, although it does kind of get lost here. I don't know, maybe I should just put white, and that should be Xstep completely done. We have the transition in, and then we have our cool little background that's pulsing black and white. We have our object line that's kind of dancing. I'm dying on Xstep, unironically. And we have our line effect that fades on at the bottom, and it kind of dances from top to bottom. I think it's pretty cool. Definitely has more potential in it, but I think it's a pretty decent effect. Okay, so I've done the first 10 levels, and if I do Clutterfunk, then we've cleared out the first 12, because I've done Theory of Everything. So I guess it's time that we do Clutterfunk. Okay, I kind of want to do this slow ship section. Oh, not another one of these stars and cloud things. What? You know, I'm just gonna ignore that for now and probably just make it invisible in the end, because I don't want to just repeat what I did next step. Okay, I have something pretty far-fetched, but if it works, it's gonna be epic. Need to kind of estimate the way this spike is gonna look. Wow, I actually kind of did that first try. Okay, there we go. Oh, what is the 3D line rotation? What the heck? All right, we have our spike edges. Then we have our box in the center, which is made also out of 3D lines. I kind of like the fact that it's not perfectly made. Okay, this might actually be super easy to do. Hold on. I just need to group every single line in this. I'm going to start with the spikes going around clockwise. Then the same for the box. Okay, we should have 12 groups here. Then we need another 12, which are just going to be random centers around the level. Starting from 13, we can make invisible little centers at the bottom of the level. So we need to put a bunch of rotation triggers at the beginning. Rotate the first ID around the first center ID. I'm going to put 180, 0 seconds. And we'll just repeat this for every single group that we've just added, just by adding 1 to each arrow. Okay, cool. Then we just need to copy this line. We can probably rotate these ever so slightly to offset the movement. And we can make this, I'm gonna guess 1.5 move time, and it can bounce out. So it's getting offset 180, then it's rotating 180 into place around a bunch of different centers in the level. This could be quite miraculous. I haven't even tested this idea at all, which is something I usually do before I make effects videos. Oh my god, that could actually work if I make that structure invisible. So the lines just kind of fly in. Dude, and I find another saw like that. I can build helper, move the dots into... Oh, be careful. Gonna move this to editor layer 2 just in case. And then I guess I can just flip these dots the other way. And that's gonna vary the rotation because the centers are now in different spots. We can also do a vertical flip like that. I've flipped horizontally, I've flipped vertically and horizontally. So the only thing left to do is flip just vertically. And that should give us 4 different variations of this rotation. I might just set up a glow piece that's scaled up slightly, that's on a new color channel with like gray blending or something, and we can put a tiny little white glow piece on top as well, both of which can just flicker. Oh my god. So 0.1 fade time, it can go to full, it can go to 0, then it can go to like half opacity, then full again. Why not? It's just to indicate where the blocks are about to come up, because I feel like it's quite unfair. And we can gradually scale this pattern down as we get closer to the drop, just to make it a little bit more intense. Okay, just to show you how the glow flickering effect looks in game. It's slow, it's getting slightly faster, and then there we go, we have the full speed as the drop comes in. I think it's pretty cool. Okay, well, a bajillion center points later, a bajillion triggers later, we might have this. I'm gonna use my trusty block transition trigger that chucks them onto the screen in random directions, and we'll see how this looks. This could be crazy. Oh my lord. It's working. Oh, it's kind of hard to read, though. Okay, it works. It's just weird. I've decided to bring back some decoration, but on the group 97 that flickers, you see. To stop it from getting clustered, I could move the centers like 10 blocks to the right, because the objects are always going to be coming from the right side now. That is honestly a lot better. I much prefer that to what we had. Before we had random lines when they were rotating to the left. Yeah, this is sick. I could probably add more line effects to the background to make it more climactic as well. We can have this line. It's group 530. Good lord. Then keep copy pasting it 2 to the left and adding a new group to these. That's 8. Okay, that should be fine. We can create movements that sends each line 10 more on the X than the previous line. So 531 is going -20. Then 532 is going -30, so it's getting exponentially further and further away. So we have the -80, and then we need to have it the opposite direction coming back. I can't see the duration lines. That's annoying. So I'm just going to move it 15 blocks to the right. Then, going from the other side, we're going to have groups from 538 to 545. Then I've moved this set over to here, and I'm currently working on the groups on that side as well. So once I add a movement group to this that locks it here, we have the beginning of an expanding grid effect. There we go. So you can see how it's going to be expanding and shrinking. Now we just need a horizontal version, which is pain. Neato burrito. That should be it. That should be the grid, and that should be the rotation effect all in one go. There we go. We have our grid, and we have our lines that are rotating and bouncing onto the screen. Let's go! Dude, I'm just testing stuff out after recording right now, and I'm looking at this rotation right here. So every single move trigger for the grid is now offset slightly. And look at the wobble you get with that. What if I also made that bounce like the rotations I've got in the level? I don't know, man. Don't know what to expect going into this. Oh, no. Just cut the video. And that wraps it up for adding effects to Robtop levels number 5. Thank you so much for watching this episode. I'm working through all of the levels before I get to the stuff like Theory of Everything 2, Deadlocked, you know. Wait, I did Theory of Everything 2. Never mind. You just move on. So that's 15 of the Robtop levels completely Wulzy effectized. Check the links in the description, leave a like and subscribe, and have a good day.